Et puis, vous le savez peut-être, la semaine dernière à Thionville, au cinéma La Scala, Joe Alves était venu présenter Les Dents de la Mer 3 en 3D, une première en Europe depuis 1983. Joe Alves, vous ne le connaissez peut-être pas, mais c'était l'un des collaborateurs de Steven Spielberg pour Sugarland Express ou encore Les Dents de la Mer et Rencontre du troisième type. Nous l'avons rencontré pour vous et il nous présente le film Les Dents de la Mer numéro 3.
A creature alive today has survived millions of years of evolution. It lives to kill, a mindless eating machine that will attack and devour anything. One terrified you like nothing you have ever experienced when it captured your imagination and tapped your fear like no movie before it. Then, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, two continued the legend and spread the fear. Next summer, nature's most terrifying creature takes on an all-new dimension in an all-new adventure. And for the first time, the terror of Jaws will not stop at the edge of the screen. Jaws 3D. The third dimension is terror.
Well, it wasn't difficult for me for the directing because I had directed so much on Jaws 2. That part was not difficult. Alan Landsberg was difficult. Primarily, Alan, when the studio decided not to do Jaws 3, and I had done 1 and 2, and I was doing the Ninja with Anakin Brown. Irv Kirshner was director, worked in that for 9 months, and then they canceled it. I came back, went to see Verna Fields, my good friend, who is now an executive at Universal. And she said to me, they were terrible. They were going to do Jaws 3, People Zero, making fun of the people that made the biggest, most successful movie. They were going to do, you know, Joe Dante was going to direct it. And then they canceled it. And so Zanuck and Brown disassociated themselves with Jaws 3, and they sold it to Alan Landsberg, who is primarily a television director and sort of low television. That's Incredible and stuff like that. But they had a good writer, Richard Matheson, who wrote Twilight Zone and Incredible Shrinking Man. So she said, well, you know, why don't you go and save the franchise, you know? Yeah. So I talked to Landsberg, and he said, you want to produce it? I said, no, I did that on 2, either directed or not. He said, well, why don't you go scout some locations with Richard Matheson, and we'll talk about it. So Richard and I went to scout in Florida for a theme park, a water park. And at that water park, I saw this underwater 3D presentation. It was beautiful because it had all this dimension going through these kelp beds and stuff. I came back and he says, what? I said, Jaws 3D. I says, it accomplishes 2 things. First of all, there weren't that many 3s. There was a Rocky 3, but they just didn't do sequels then, you know. Jaws 2 got criticized as a sequel. Now we're going to do another one. So making it 3D, Jaws 3D, takes the onus off of that. Besides, it gives it a different dimension. And so he thought that was cool, and I came back, and I did a sketch of a shark in Jaws 3D. My big problem was Landsberg, because he's used to directing directors, because that's what they do on TV. You got to lose my time. The producer really controls it. Different concept with film. Secondly, I had no idea we had no new 3D cameras. We had the Ultra Jam, we call it the Ultra Cam. We had terrible equipment. So I said, we have to start building a shark. We're not going to build a shark. We're going to use, I have all that shark footage from, that's incredible. We're going to use real sharks and dummy people. I said, what? No, you can't do that, no. Anyway, so it was just fighting constantly. But the cast was good. It was a wonderful cast. And so Leah, I sort of discovered her. She was so cute. I saw her 2 years ago at a show. And from here, I'd say 20 feet away, she looked no different. I was telling them a story about Dennis. Can I smoke in this scene? Dennis, you smoked in the last scene. Oh, yeah. Okay, so he comes on, and we're on the dock, and Lou's here. He turns around, and everybody in the crew had a cigarette like this. Like if I turned around here, everybody had a cigarette. And he goes, I get the idea. Okay, you know. It was fun. It was fun when I was working with the crew, excellent crew. It was some of the political stuff was difficult.
Nous retrouverons dans les prochaines semaines d'autres extraits de l'interview de Joe Alves, tant sa carrière est impressionnante puisqu'il a travaillé, comme je vous le disais tout à l'heure, avec Steven Spielberg sur des films tels que Sugarland Express, Les Dents de la Mer ou Rencontre du troisième type, mais également avec John Carpenter pour New York 97 ou Starman. Donc on le retrouvera très prochainement, c'est promis. Pour cette semaine, notre émission de cinéma s'achève. Bonne semaine et bonne toile.